And what other hobbies do you have?
I play football myself a little bit.
Okay.
Especially growing up, I was playing football, and that's the sport I love, and pretty much football. And then I like reading, mostly Amharic books and fictions. I like those story type books.
And you have daughters
Yes,
who
two.
do have wonderful command of English language. How did that happen?
They speak native English, and I don't know, fortunately or unfortunately, when first year I was by myself when I went to the United States. It was tough on me. I left behind my wife and two daughters, and my daughters were, I think, 3 and 4.5 then, and it was difficult on my part, on my family's part. And then after a year, I managed to take them there, and then they stayed there for 7 years. So that's where they started kindergarten and then finished their elementary school. So when they came back, they almost lost their Ethiopian languages, mainly Amharic.
How they got them back?
Gradually, yes, they're trying to learn it. They speak funny Amharic right now. Students make fun of them as much as they make fun of their dad's English. They think they speak better English than I do, which is right.
Which is true.
And then accent-wise, they have a native accent. And then they say, "Dad, that's not how you say it." And then I say, "What? I took you to the United States and you start to make fun of my English?
Yeah.
I'll take you back home."
Whatever you do, you cannot delete their English now.
That's right,
They're
yes.
good at it. No, wonderful it is. Let's come to journalism.
Yes.
What can you say about DJ? Because it is recent fashion, especially in developing nations, including ours. We say DJ this is and blah blah. What do you comment about it?
Yeah. Development journalism, it's a recent phenomenon globally and in our country as well. Like, it's a normative theory. In my communication theory class, I teach normative theories and effects theories, and then development journalism is one of the normative theories. Normative theories, they explain the relationship between the press and government. Media cannot operate in a vacuum. They operate in a socio-economic system. So there is a very strong relationship between the media and the type of political economy you have. So the oldest theories, 1940s, Wilbur Schramm and his colleagues, they wrote a book, and which is 4 theories of the press, and that is a very foundational book for students majoring in journalism and communication. And those 4 theories were libertarian, authoritarian, Soviet socialist, and social responsibility. And then, so development journalism, as you can see, was not part of those 4 foundational theories. Later on, only in the 90s, Dennis McQuell, a British prominent scholar, he wrote a book. He writes a lot on media theories, and then he included 2 more theories, normative theories, on the list. And these 2 are development communication, okay, DJ, development journalism, and the democratic participant theory. So it's a recent phenomenon. It started in the East, in the Philippines and countries like that, and then lately we adopted that theory. I think it goes with the political economy we are pursuing, the democratic developmental state. So the type of state we have and the type of press we have should go together. So I think the government is not wrong in making that decision. Every government is sovereign, they are independent, they can make decisions, they can make choices. So this is a choice of the government. And for developing nations, it makes sense. Like if you take the Western press, they are obsessed with celebrity culture, sensational stuff, like prominent countries, prominent people, and too much of negativity, crisis. Where there is crisis, the media, they are there. You find the media there. So there is this obsession with negativity. And then I like the tone of DJ because it focuses on things that matter to societies in economically disadvantaged and developing nations. So for us, what matters is development. If you go talk about development in the Western media, not everybody gets it because they are way ahead of the kind of development we are talking about today.
But some people argue that in countries like Ethiopia, DJ is not successful because it is not being implemented properly. Do you agree with this idea?
They have a point. The point is the promises, when you look at the promises of DJ, one of the things is it's critically reporting on the achievements as well as failures, challenges, development projects are failing. So the type of DJ we are practicing today tends to lean towards celebrating the achievements only, and then not critically reporting on the challenges we are facing and the misappropriations of resources, things that are going wrong. So DJ in principle doesn't rule out investigative journalism, but we don't see as much investigative reporting in the umbrella, in the frame of DJ as you want to see. So that is, I think, a big challenge. So for students or for people who want to be critical of DJ, it gives them a room to say that, hey, this is a government says so kind of reporting.
But DJ is not that. DJ is to tell the success and also the gap, which is not accomplished properly.
That's right. In principle, that is it. But it's not living up to the promises. The practice deviates from the principles listed down there. Okay, I have no problem with the principles, and I have no problem with the choice we make. We do have the right to make choices, but we have to live up to the promises.
Have you planned to write a book, or have you ever written a book on journalism?
Not really, but I like to see myself more as a communication person. Communication, as you know, is broader. In communication, you have interpersonal communication, intercultural communication, small group communication, mass communication, which is journalism. So it's broader. So I am more of a communication scholar than a media scholar.
Okay, but you are a board member for media houses, I think.
Yes.
Including OBN?
Including OBN, yeah.
So is that for the communication purpose, or I'm talking about...
No, look, no, mass communication is part of communication.
Yep.
It's a specific part of communication. It deals with the mass media, the mainstream, and then also the social media, which is an emerging field.
And that was about, I know, the question I'm going to raise, by the way. The benefits and the impacts, negative impacts of the social media as well together. Just to help me that
Okay,
way.
I'll come back to that in a moment. But so regarding the question you asked me earlier, like like if I want to write a book, yes, I have a plan. I don't know when, but I want to write a book and contribute for the society. And most likely I'll be writing in Amharic because I want a wider part of the society to get the idea of communication. Especially, you know, we have communication crisis in this country, as Dr. Nagari frequently likes to say, which I share actually. And we are not very good communicators. And then some of the challenges we are facing relate to communication. So civil communication, civil discussion is different from uncivil, uncivil, violent type of communication. Arguments that are leading to violence.
Chords never overlap, so that communication fails in most cases. If you are not good communicators, people do not understand you, and you do not understand others as well.
Exactly, and lack of understanding might lead to violence and crisis. So some of the crises we are facing today in our country could be resolved if we had good communication in place and a good communication culture. So culture of tolerance, culture of understanding others, empathic communication, putting yourself in the shoes of others and trying to understand where they come from and then understanding them. Don't requiring them to think and talk about the way you think and talk, because they are different. This is a very diverse nation, so we celebrate the diversity, but in a nation like this, communication tends to be delicate, and unless it's carefully handled, chances are it can lead to conflicts. And then a recent study I read from BBC, it categorizes Ethiopia as one of conflict-prone nations because of the diversity we have. If we are a conflict-prone nation, and then our communication, the nature of our communication should take our situation into consideration. And then civil communication that is based on respecting others, and then approaching them in a very positive manner, rather than we and them kind of dichotomy, divide, which can lead to conflicts. Why don't we constitute, why don't we follow a type of communication that helps us come together, bring society together and live in a very peaceful manner together?
That is even the problem of our senior government officials. The other thing is, you said you're going to write in Amharic, but people may ask you, why don't you write in Afan Oromo? Anyway, it doesn't matter.
I wish I could, but my Afan Oromo is not to that level. I lost much of it, and I'm working on it. Hopefully I will regain. And then the vocabulary, my goodness. I mean, recently vocabulary has changed, and Afan Oromo is enriching and it's growing, which is good. I'm very happy with that. But I don't know, very narrow span of vocabulary I have, honestly speaking. I need to work on it before I can claim to write in Afan Oromo.